Welcome, Climate Viewers. Jim Lee from ClimateViewer.com, at ClimateViewer on Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube. This is a breaking news alert. Got a crazy story for you today about a company bragging about using ionospheric technology, cloud ionization to steer and create hurricanes, to end dust storms, to do regional and even global weather modification. I'd like to give a shout out to Rance Smith, who I see is in chat doing this live stream, and Mike Morales from Underground World News for bringing this website to my attention. I did a lot of digging through this website, and I'm going to break it all down for you right now. So the article is in the details, and it's called Climate Global Control Trading LLC creates and steers hurricanes with ionospheric modification and cloud ionization. Oh my God, that's a mouthful. Now, before we get into it, let me do a quick scroll. I'm going to get everything loaded up for us here. Everything you're about to see is free of charge, open source, Creative Commons. You're free to remix this video, this article, as long as you give a link back to the original. All I ask is that you support me either through a monthly donation on Patreon or give a one-time donation through PayPal. I would greatly appreciate that. So now that everything's loaded up, let's dig right in. Now, I had previously done a video called The Climate Changers and Water Wars, Technocracy, Geoengineering, and Replacing the Water Cycle. What you're about to see in this video is going to hammer home all the points that I made in my presentation about how this is, technocrats taking control of the water cycle, monetizing it, the obviously cryptocurrency plays a role in everything the technocrats have planned, and wouldn't you know, they want to have you buy the water now. So I hope that you guys will flip through this slideshow and watch this presentation. It gives the big overview on how they want to destroy the natural water cycle and replace it with what we're seeing today, with ship tracks and planes making clouds, and obviously ionospheric heaters and things like that. This is a very big topic, but to have a company like this, Climate Global Control Trading LLC, just come right out with it, is shocking. We've come a long way in finding some, transparency from the individuals who are engaged in controlling our weather. And you can't get any bigger than, a company bragging about steering a hurricane. So let's dig into the details. First up, the website's climateglobal.net. You can see it right here. They talk about something called the climate crime, which is a Bitcoin derivative, blockchain cryptocurrency that is based on water. Wow, $0.55 US per 1 cubic meter of fresh water of natural origin. And they talk about how seawater desalination and cloud seeding, chemical elements harmful to the environment and human health. But we're doing this all with microwaves, so that's a good thing and completely safe. What they're talking about is insanity. And I want to get into that. So let's talk about some of that insanity. They've got a video here, Climate Global Control Trading Contract. I'm not going to play it because I'll probably get a copyright strike for the music. But look through it, and they talk about, how they can control the weather on every single level and aspect. And that video is over on Vimeo. But there's more to the story than I've been, like I said. Thank you to Rance and Mike. I dug into all of the companies surrounding this. There's actually several websites. Climate Global or Global Climate Hub, which is also related to this climate crime thing and the LLC that was aforementioned. And they talk about, participants, climate services that they're going to offer, and then they briefly mentioned this TV on fly, and I did some digging into that as well. More details in just a second. And what you see is also the Center for Trading of Climate Services, another website devoted to this. And of course, there you go. There's that climate cron again. And they have like this climate control dial. And, I've said for years that geoengineering isn't about CO2 at all. It's about the control of water. That's what my presentation was about. And boy, do they really hammer it home. Water resources management using climate crime will positively affect the development of the entire water ecosystem in the world and provide real support to all local and global international projects. This is as serious as it gets. This is the future, what the technocrats are dreaming of, controlling water on a worldwide basis. So that's why I've been beating that horse for quite some time. And you see right here, company Bit on Fly LLC. I got some details on that as well. They also have a cronexchange.com, which website under construction, is an international cryptocurrency exchange created on blockchain technology and where cryptocurrency climate crime freely will circulate. So this is climate dollars, people. You're going to be paying for your water. You already are, but boy, they really want to take it to the next level with this whole venture. So let's go back to the website, the article, and you can see that they have this presentation here. And I got the PDF link up. And what do you see? The concept of monetization of global market of water resources by means of cryptocurrency, the climate cron. So that's what it's about. Monetization of global water resources. And I've said that for many years. That's what this is all about. Water is a commodity. Fresh water has been dubbed blue gold in many publications, as water will be to the next century what oil was to the last. And that's what they're blatantly showing here. This is from a magazine. I've got a link to it right here. You can check it out. The climate controlled cryptocurrency climate cron is a new financial instrument backed on blockchain technology, and it is provided by real asset fresh water, and it is intended for free circulation as cryptocurrency exchange, cron exchange, and services as a universal means of payment for participants of a global market of water resources. The initial value of one climate cron is equal to the cost of 1 barrel of fresh water. This is unacceptable. Extremely unacceptable. Can't believe what I'm seeing with my own eyes here. So, who's doing the trading? Bit on Fly LLC is the world's first company created in order of monetization of global market of water resources. Bit on Fly LLC, using a new financial instrument, the universal cryptocurrency climate cron, blah blah blah. And there you see it again. 1 climate cron is equal to 1 barrel of fresh water. And that's their website right there. Check it out. So now let's get into the details. Let's get into the mud, because this is where it really gets ugly. The technology, Climate Global Control Trading LLC, ionospheric technology for weather management. And I got a link to the PDF right here where this came from. But they say a brief summary about the company is a supplier of integrated technology solutions specializing in project design, planning, and implementation of ionospheric technology for weather management. Now, I want every single one of you debunking retards that ever said that HARP or any of the ionospheric heaters that I've mapped out have nothing to do with weather modification to now properly eat crow. These guys are bragging about it. In fact, they brag that they not only created but steered a hurricane using this technology. Let's get into that. So I found this video while digging through their website, and I'm going to play it for you now. Wait for the antennas. Now, I uploaded that to my YouTube channel last night. There's the title of the video, Storm versus Dust Storm Using Ionospheric Technology, just so that I can embed it in this article. So the equipment, you saw the antennas in the video, and what they were claiming to do is create a storm to attack a dust storm to cause rain to get rid of a dust storm. And of course, Saudi Arabia, the United Arab Emirates, they have lots of dust storms, so this is a serious problem for them. And what you see right here says it all. Equipment, hardware technology, controlled weather change presents a distributed network of antenna systems fundamentally new type. They have poor translation on this, please excuse. Antenna complexes are located in areas of active weather forming processes in the Indian Ocean region. Damn it, you guys know how much I love to map these things out. Antenna complexes are fully autonomous, non-volatile, with a high level of redundancy. It provides a completely safe control of all atmospheric processes. There is no such thing as safe control of atmospheric processes. The butterfly effects of what they are doing are going to cause massive problems worldwide. The size and scale of what they are doing is completely unacceptable. They mention the NMOD weather warfare ban and say how this has nothing to do with that. We're being completely cool with NMOD. The information about the location and composition of equipment is strictly confidential. And that's also from the same PDF. So what would these antennas look like? Maybe they would look something like this. Now, many years ago, 2014, I started following the topic of cloud ionizers. This was even mentioned on the Alex Jones show one time. He just showed the article. Cloud ionization, electric rain making, and laser guided weather modification. Now, I have many different shots of these. This is actually Mateo Systems Weather Tech, and it's an ionization ion generator. So from 1946 to present, we've had cloud seeding where they drop silver iodide and other chemicals into the sky to modify weather. New method of ion generation. Recognize those towers? Mateo Systems has built 5 sites in 10 emitters, each in the deserts of Abu Dhabi. Same area. When the relative humidity at ground reaches 30% or more, the emitters are switched on. Charged particles attached to so-called condensation nuclei or cloud seeds, dust, dirt, aluminum from sand, aluminum from, airplane traffic, all of that. Ions allow the nuclei to survive longer, giving water droplets more time to grow. So to create a cloud, to create rain, you need 3 things. You need dust, water, and some kind of electric charge, static, to make the water stick to the dust to make it big enough to fall. So these guys are basically not adding chemicals, they're adding electricity, and the chemicals that are already present in the sky attached to water. That's the whole plan there with cloud ionization. So, the World Meteorological Organization actually held an emergency meeting in Abu Dhabi to say weather modification technologies that claim to achieve such large scale or dramatic effects do not have a sound scientific basis, e.g. hail cannons and ionization methods, and should be treated with suspicion. So they, were calling BS on what Mateo Systems was calling. They said they made rain where there were no clouds 50 times in the desert. And these are some images I made of the different systems. That's the one from Abu Dhabi. ASD Clear Sky Manager from, you can see right here, Corsair.com. Clear Sky Manager, that's what it looks like. Little series of inverted pyramids. Dubai skyline during testing. Once again, there's, Middle East area. Moving along, there's the actual patent for it, method for breaking anticyclonic circulation and device for carrying out said method. And a whole bunch of extra references on that. Then we have Australian Rain Technologies Atlant System, bunch of pyramids. These are also cloud ionizers. Danger, high voltage, because they put electricity into the sky. This is the same technology that I believe Climate Global Control Trading is using. But they say specifically ionospheric technology. So it's more than just cloud ionizers steering atmospheric rivers. And we get that with a company called Acquiesce. Now, Acquiesce, their website has been deleted from the internet. If you go to acquiesce.com right now, it either doesn't come up or it says, well, there you go, page not found, it's gone. You can access all of this from archive.org, which I'm going to update all the links on this article, and I've updated them on the new one. But regardless, they claim to have Acquiesce is offering sovereign states an augmented rainfall capability as a part of its regional toolbox to strengthen economies and replenish dryland agriculture and improve food security. David Miles, CEO of Acquiesce. Well, they paired up with a company called Sky Blue from owned by David Kuczynski, an ex Air Force guy, and they got a permit to do weather modification using weather resonance technology to divert clouds. And they say, signals are adjusted from ground-based clouds, antennas. So Climate Global Control Trading said they steered Tropical Cyclone Ashoba, and then they give all these links: projects of our scenarios, a history of Ashoba development, example of the forecast moving the Ashoba, link on Wikipedia to the cyclone, effects of our work on examples of mass media. And these are people who covered it. But basically, you know, I brought it up on ClimateViewer 3D, which I will do right now. So what you could see is that basically by clicking this link, it'll go ahead and load the layer up for you. This is the tropical storm that was a freak rare storm, rarely ever occurs in this location, because as you can see, India is right there and Saudi Arabia is right here in United Arab Emirates. So if you bring up the map list and you bring up the date, you can actually walk through this. This is when it formed on the 7th. Then we were looking at the 8th, going up to the 9th, and then it making landfall on the 10th through the 11th and the 12th. And it starts to break up, dumping all this rain on here. They claim credit for this. Okay? Pretty freaky stuff. So if you look right here, that's Oman. This is where it landed, and here is the United Arab Emirates. So that's where, you know, the rainfall was supposed to be headed. And of course it broke up before it got to the UAE and mostly dumped on Oman. And this is what it looked like when it made landfall. Mind you that this is, by their own admission, a man-made storm that they steered. A lot of electricity in that thing. You get the picture. So what does this have to do with, you know, the bigger picture? There's this thing called the United Arab Emirates Rainfall Enhancement Program. I covered this. This video is 2017-05, May 11th. And what we have is basically the UAE has this program going on. Let me see right here, UAE rep. And basically the United Arab Emirates is dumping money into, you know, trying to get people to bring rainfall to their, you know, desert region. And because they've got all that oil money, you could see that right here, research groups from USA, China announced awardees of UAE reps US $5 million grant in its third cycle. So this has to be related. The UAE Research Program for Rain Enhancement Science. When you look into the Climate Global Trading company literature, you know, they say that they are based out of the UAE. International banks are involved and all of that stuff. I have all the background on this kind of technology, you know, right here in my cloud ionization technology section, the blue gold rush water wars using the rivers of the troposphere, how they were steering it over Texas. This is what Acquiesce showed. Signals are launched from ground-based servers to adjust flight paths of weather systems. That's what you saw in the video with the dust storm, the antennas steering a storm. I think we're way past this being just a conspiracy theory. How Texas stole California's rain. This goes into the details, and then even further into the details with aqueous, sky blue, and steering rivers in the sky. I hope you guys will check that out. I also have hurricane control references down at the bottom. Department of Homeland Security enters the weather modification business. In there, they specifically mention ion generators as one of their solutions. Salt seeding test, carbon black aerosol, upper ocean cooling, seeding, monolayer films, but ion generators. Exactly what they're talking about with this Climate Global Control Trading LLC. And that was at the Hurricane Modification Workshop for the Department of Homeland Security. And then you can see the full history of weather modification, past to present there. My YouTube embed didn't work. I'll fix that. Hurricane modification articles on ClimateViewer News. Check out weathermodificationhistory.com. And my solution to all of this is the Environmental Modification Accountability Act. This is really where the rubber meets the road. We cannot have companies trading climate crimes to, with strictly confidential technologies to steer massive, amounts of weather around the globe, because that will affect other countries and it will cause long-lasting or severe damage, which is a violation of the Environmental Modification Convention of 1976, which is the weather warfare ban. So even though these people are claiming all in their literature that, this has nothing to do with, NMOD, that we're NMOD friendly, steering hurricanes, monetizing water on a global scale, changing global weather patterns using ionospheric heaters, is pure insanity. So if you want to see all of those, you can come over to ClimateViewer 3D, click on pollution and privacy, click on atmospheric sensors, and you can look at all the ionospheric heaters of the world, the super darns, and all of the different microwaves of doom they have. Also, missile defense radars, which can easily be used for the same exact purpose. HARP, extremely low frequency ELF, VLF transmission sites, digisons, which are ionosons, and directed energy weapons like lasers, particle colliders, and gravity wave detectors. And what you'll quickly see is that the world is covered in these things. These, high-powered microwaves of doom pretty much span the globe. And over here in the United Arab Emirates, there is an ionospheric heater right here. It's called the National MST Radar Facility. It's at 2.5 megawatts. Blow that up for you guys to see it. So this may be one of the facilities that they are actually using, while doing this, and it's in India. It's near the Indian Ocean. We've got laser beams over here. What else do we have in the area? We've got laser beams up here. Olant Winto. That's just creepy. The swordfish radar. Green Pie radar. Green Pie radar number 1. And we've got one of these big VLF stations here. I need to turn off the satellite for you to be able to see that. Let's go here, base maps, ESRI aerial, and you can see one of those Star of David looking VLF sites. Apparently I have a Black Hawk helicopter coming overhead. It's vibrating my windows. But regardless, these massive antenna systems are all around the globe, and Climate Global Control Trading LLC, are setting up cloud ionizers. They're going to be setting these up. Like they said, it's strictly confidential where they'll be. But, I can always look into that. I'm sure at some point I will come across some information and be able to add them to the map. But just as when you take a look at the region, it's already coded in, multiple of these very large radar systems. Um, this is Turkmenistan, and, electromagnetic facilities. So take a look through them, laser beams, EMF signals, and all of that. And they're able to control the weather, and they're claiming it, they're bragging about it. This is our Diego Garcia tracking station and the geodes, and I think that, where is Altair? Oh well, it's not there. Those are laser beams. Regardless, Altair is the most powerful one in the world. It's at 6 megawatts. It's out here somewhere. I'm kind of drawing a blank at the moment, but these microwaves, as you can see, there are many of them. There are many laser beams, and the ground-based cloud ionizers. I have not been able to map them out because I haven't been able to find accurate locations on them. Anybody sees any accurate locations on them, be glad to put them on the map. But what we need to realize, at least for today, is that our weather is controlled, and it's about the monetization of water resources, because water will be to the next century what oil was to the last. So check out the link, go through the details, read the article. Please check out my presentation. It goes through, how this came to be, how cloud seeding works, weather warfare, all of that stuff. And, where we're at today, reducing rainfall. Israel stole our clouds. And, how they're, going from an accidental geoengineering to worldwide governance, field experiments, and then finally legal global deployment of geoengineering on a massive scale. But at the end of the day, this is about technocracy and control of water resources and replacing the water cycle. So for a company like, this Climate Global Trading to just be out there bragging about it, saying we've invented our own cryptocurrency for trading that's equal to 1 barrel of water, and we use electromagnetic radiation to do so. This is where I kind of draw the line. This is a huge story. It's all news to me. Once again, thanks to Rent Smith and Mike Morales for pointing this website out to me. I will do more digging, as you know I always do. But all the references are in the article already. This is the proof that we've been waiting for, that ionospheric modification technologies are used to control the weather, that electromagnetic radiation is being used to control the weather. Despite whatever the World Meteorological Organization wants to say, despite everybody saying put your tinfoil hat on, this is a serious, shocking business of controlling water resources for money. And all your weather is now, up for sale to the highest bidder. And obviously, people like us, just concerned citizens, will never be able to afford to, buy our weather. So this is up to mega corporations and nation states that are paying for this. When I was reading through their literature, they said their typical contract is 5 to 7 years to stabilize the weather in a location permanently. Well, what is that going to do to other nations? And since it's all strictly confidential, will other nations even be privy to the fact that their neighboring state is, buying and paying for electric manipulation of their weather? People want to tell you that all this freaky weather is based on global warming and that it's based on CO2, when all of the facts are already there in your face, that these companies are trading. The Chicago Mercantile Exchange, weather derivatives, stock exchange was the start of all of this. It was created by Enron. You can go through all these details on ClimateViewer.com and WeatherModificationHistory.com. But betting on the weather started long ago. I think it was 1997. And now we're at a place where they're literally inventing cryptocurrency that equals 1 barrel of water, because they are going to use electromagnetic radiation, ionospheric heaters, all of these technologies to control global weather. So David Keith, Ken Caldera, all of these, lobbyists for the geoengineering, agenda, they'll tell you it's about cooling the planet. But even in their literature, integrated assessment of geoengineering proposals, geoengineering, solar radiation management, stratospheric aerosol injection, all of these things mimicking volcanoes will change rainfall patterns on a worldwide basis. And geoengineering governance is about figuring out how to pay the dead people, because all the computer models and the natural analog is volcanic eruptions. The southern hemisphere gets drier, the northern hemisphere gets wetter. So North America, Europe, we're all going to see massive floods, way more rainfall. And South America, Africa, even Australia, screw you guys. You may never see rainfall again, or it's very sparse. So geoengineering governance is about figuring out how to pay those losers, those dead people. This company is literally bragging about being able to control the weather over certain countries for cryptocurrency. And that should be illegal. Despite, what my in my legislation says about transparency and verification, weather modification on this scale should not be legal because of all of the butterfly effects that it will cause in other countries, boundary issues, all of the problems that will be downwind of this. Nobody knows. And whether they claim that it's safe and natural, no, we do not know enough about the weather, to predict it accurately 7 days away. There is no way that they can predict that what they're doing is safe. And none of this has anything to do with chemtrails. The sad part about this is that's all you'll hear about every single day. Chemtrails, chemtrails, chemtrails. This is about weather modification, geoengineering, technocrats, water resources, and all of these bigger pictures. Everything is not as simple as, well, there's chemtrails, we should be outraged. Well, it's geoengineering, we should be outraged. There is a lot going on. And at the very top of the food chain, it's about water. And that water is fiercely fought over in the sky. And there's a lot of money to be made over controlling water. So water is life, and for these guys, water is money. So that's my story, and I'm sticking to it. I hope that you guys will share this extremely important video. Once again, thanks to Rant Smith and Mike Morales for showing me this website. I've added it to my cloud ionization section on ClimateViewer.com. It is available on the front page of ClimateViewer.com, and this video will be shortly up on YouTube. I hope that you guys will share it around and let people know, that this stuff is real. This is not tinfoil hat status stuff. This is a serious issue, and people need to take it seriously. Because I'm sick and tired of hearing lunatics on the mainstream media saying, well, this latest hurricane is surely because of climate change, or, this severe weather event must be climate change, when we know about cloud seeding projects and, all of the different, weather modification projects going on in the world. And then you see monumentally huge projects like this, like with Acquiesce, steering atmospheric rivers, climate global control trading, steering hurricanes, creating 10,000 kilometer wide storms to put out dust storms. This is where we're reaching the level of insanity. And it's unsafe. It should be illegal. But at the very least, we need to try to pass the Environmental Modification Accountability Act to demand transparency and verification. Strictly confidential, my ass. Proprietary, my ass. When you're talking about global weather, we need to know. And this is not something you can keep secret. And, at the very least, we need to be able to hold these people to account when things go wrong. And they surely will go wrong, because man has no business controlling the weather. We don't know enough about it. So please, once again, all of this information will be available on ClimateViewer.com. Video will be on YouTube. Share it everywhere, because it's important that people see the big picture and understand what we're up against, and understand that there are companies like Climate Global Control Trading LLC bragging about this technology. I mean, when I started this 8 years ago, you couldn't find anything on weather modification. And slowly but surely, every year, more and more, you just see it in your face, and it's becoming normalized, and there's really been no pushback whatsoever. So guys, please continue to support my work. I'm going to dig into this more, see what I can find, but this is as real as rain, and rain is money, apparently, and cryptocurrency, climate crimes, and all that technocrat BS aside. We really need to put a stop to this. So I hope that you guys have found this video informative. I hope that you'll share it with others. And I hope that you will use this information to attack ideas, not people.